So there's a channel called Simple Paint. They're pulling close to 2 million views in the last 7 days. Estimated monthly earnings, around $12,000. And when you actually look at what they're doing, it's stick figures. Illustrated stick figures over simple topics. That's it. Then there's Axen. Same niche, different angle. $17,000 estimated monthly. 450,000 views last week. And then there's this one, Paint It Simple. 5 videos uploaded. 5. And they're already sitting at $5,000 estimated monthly, over 100,000 views in the last 7 days. So across those 3 channels, we're looking at over $30,000 a month, collectively, in the same niche, with content that, from the outside, looks almost too simple to be this effective. I kept looking at these numbers and thinking, there's something here, and I didn't just want to observe it, I wanted to build one. Not manually, not the way most people would approach it, spending hours on every video. I wanted a system, one where I give it a topic, press one command, and it handles everything. The script, the images, the voiceover, the final video, all of it. So that's what this is. I'm going to show you exactly how I built that system, what it runs on, how I set it up, and then I'm going to run it live so you can see the actual output. And also, we are going to do something different from every single one of our other Claude Code workflows. Previously, we would use Nano Banana's API key to generate the images, and it took forever. But in today's video, we'll be using Higgsfield, not through an API key, but using their new MCP feature. Not only will the images get generated far more quicker, the setup is also extremely simple. Get access to this linked in the description. But before I touched the terminal, before I wrote a single file, before I even thought about what this channel was going to be called, I did something that most people skip entirely. I let Claude figure out the niche for me. What I did was drop the 3 competitor channel URLs directly into Claude. Simple Paint, Axen, Paint It Simple. And then 2 of their top performing videos as well. And I told Claude, go through each of these, analyze their content, their scripting, their packaging, their visual style, and then come back and ask me questions that will help us build something that fills the gap in this market. Claude pulled the actual transcripts and channel data on all 3 using NextLev. Every video, every script, real numbers. And then it came back with a full breakdown. Simple Paint owns the niche at 446,000 subscribers and 83 million views. Their content is dark, deaths, disasters, the worst ways to die. It performs, but the scripting reads like a Wikipedia article. Dry, encyclopedic, no real narrative pull. Axen was the interesting one. 9 videos, already 4 million views, around 450,000 average per video. And when Claude pulled their transcripts, the scripting was completely different from everyone else. Second person, immersive. They drop you into the scene immediately. You are standing at the edge of a glacier, and then they build from there. That format was holding retention in a way the encyclopedic approach never could. And nobody else was running that scripting style at volume. That was the gap. So from that analysis, Claude came back with a set of verification questions. Not generic ones, specific ones, based on what it actually found in the competitor data. Tone direction. Did I want to stay in the dark and death lane, where the views clearly are, lean into curiosity and wonder, or blend both? I went with the blend. Survival stories told with wonder, not just gore. Topic territory, ancient humans, civilizations, early prehistory. That felt most open and most aligned with the direction Axen was already building toward. Channel identity. Did I want something that looked like a direct competitor to Simple Paint, or something positioned as an elevated version of what Axen was doing? Better scripting, more consistent output, wider topics. That was the answer. And then video length. 60 seconds for the demo we'd be building in this video, with the full 8 to 10 minute version baked into the same system as a second mode. Then Claude refined further. Channel name energy, narrator tone, the core emotion the viewer should feel by the end of every video. And from all of those answers, it locked everything in. The channel became Primordial. Ancient human survival stories told with wonder. Axen scripting formula at higher volume and consistency. Stickman illustrated style. Both duration modes built into the same pipeline. That whole process, competitor research, gap analysis, branding decisions, all of it happened inside Claude before a single file was created, before the terminal was even open. And that's actually the part most people skip. They go straight to the build. They pick a niche randomly or copy whatever's trending, and then they wonder why the output feels generic. The channel doesn't have an identity because nobody sat down and built one before touching the tools. What Claude did here was essentially run a strategy session, and everything it learned from that session got baked directly into the files we built next. So once the branding was locked, that's when the actual build started. The way this setup works, I pasted my Notion guide into Claude and told it to walk me through the configuration inside the terminal, one step at a time, based on my operating system. And it did. Every command, every file, in sequence. The first thing built was the project folder, called Primordial, named after the channel. Everything the pipeline produces lives inside this folder. Scripts, images, audio, the final video, all of it organized automatically as it generates. Inside the folder, there are two types of files: the config files and the pipeline files. The config files are actually the more important ones, so I want to start there. But first, we need to create our env file. This is really straightforward. Just open up the file inside of your terminal or command prompt. And from there, go to every single one of the platforms that we will be using and generate and insert your API keys. Go to Anthropic, generate your key, insert it into the file. Go to ElevenLabs, head to Developers, generate your API key, and check these settings that you see me checking off. As for your voice ID, Claude automatically recommended me one, so I'll just use that one. However, if you find a voice character you'd like, click the three dots and select Copy Voice ID and insert it into the file. Same thing for key.ai. Just go to their software, go down toward API keys, create your API key, and insert it into the file. Once all fields are filled out with your API keys, save the text file, and then we will move on to creating the config files. And don't worry, this will be plug and play, just pay attention. The first config file is channel_identity.md. And here's what made this different from any setup I've done before. It didn't come out blank. Because we'd already run the competitor research and the branding Q&A, Claude pre-filled this entire file based on those answers. The channel name, the tagline, the tone description, what the channel is and isn't, the title patterns, the words to avoid, all of it was generated directly from that earlier strategy conversation. This file is what Claude reads before writing every single script. Before it produces a word of narration, it reads this file, which is why every video the pipeline generates sounds like Primordial and not like a generic AI history channel. The identity isn't in the code, it's in here. The second config file is visual_style.md. This one controls how every image looks. Same story, pre-filled from the branding session. The style description, the color palette direction, the hard constraints. But the most important part is the style routing system. The pipeline reads what's being narrated in each 4-second chunk and automatically decides what kind of scene to generate. Narration about humans or ancestors, stickman characters on a painted background, narration about animals or predators, clean illustrated environment, no characters, cave scene or night scene, dark background, firelight tones, wide landscape, painted panoramic, no stickman. And then every single Higgsfield prompt ends with the same style suffix. Flat color illustrated, hand-painted background, warm earth tones, no faces, no text. Set once. Every image across every video on this channel looks like it belongs to the same world. Then the pipeline files, 6 of them, each one handling a specific stage of production. Generate_script.py is where Claude Opus writes the narration. It reads the channel identity file first, then takes the topic and produces a script that matches the channel's exact voice and structure. Second-person hook, real named facts, delayed resolution, philosophy kicker at the end. Not because the code tells it to, because the channel identity file does. Generate_image_prompts.py takes that script, splits it into 4-second chunks, and writes one Higgsfield image prompt per chunk. It applies the routing rules from the visual style file automatically. So the pipeline isn't guessing what each scene should look like. It's reading what's being narrated and making a visual decision for every single chunk. Generate_vo.py sends the full narration to ElevenLabs in one API call. Full audio file back in about 10 seconds. And it probes the actual audio duration after, because the video stitcher uses that real number to calculate exactly how long each image holds on screen. That's what keeps the visuals locked to the narration without any manual timing. Generate_music.py handles background music through key.ai suno, optional. If there's no key in the env file, the pipeline skips it and keeps running. which is exactly how it should work. A missing optional step shouldn't break everything else. Video_stitcher.py is where the video actually gets assembled. It takes the real audio duration, divides it by the number of image chunks, and holds each image for exactly its proportion duration. Everything stays in sync with the narration automatically. When the /generate command runs, Claude reads that file, understands the full sequence, executes each stage in order, and then calls Higgsfield MCP directly to generate every image. That file is what makes the whole thing run from a single command. Once every file was in place, the last step before running anything was connecting Higgsfield inside Claude Desktop. And this is worth explaining properly because it changes what the pipeline is actually doing when it runs. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. What it means in practice is that Claude Desktop can call external tools directly without leaving the app. Before this was connected, generating images meant going to Higgsfield separately for every single scene, prompting it manually, waiting, downloading, organizing. For a video with 80 images, that's 80 separate trips out of the workflow. With the MCP connection, the generate command calls Higgsfield as a tool. Claude generates the image prompt, submits it directly to Higgsfield, waits for the result, downloads it, names it correctly, saves it into the output folder, and immediately moves to the next chunk. That's the difference between a workflow that saves some time and one that's genuinely hands-off. If you want to set up Higgsfield, the link is in the description, pinned in the comments as well. Once you've created your own Higgsfield account, head over to Claude Desktop app, head to Settings, go to Connectors, and select Customize. We'll do two things here. First, we need to set up Higgsfield as our MCP. Just name it Higgsfield, and then also insert this URL as well that you see. Feel free to pause the video. Next, we need to set our new Claude Code folder as the active directory. So click the top where you see the folder icon, and then locate the folder that you want to set and click it. Now, once everything is done, we are ready to let the Claude Code workflow rip. Just type in the generate skill and then insert any video idea that you want to produce. And just like that, it's going through the process of producing the video. Everything is hands-off. The tools are communicating with one another, the API keys are getting called, tasks are being ran, and all you need to do is accept the permission notifications that Claude sends you when you're generating your first video. And just after a few minutes, this is what came out.
You're crouched at the back of a limestone cave. Your fire is dying, and something is breathing at the entrance. For 300,000 years, Panthera spelaea stalked Ice Age Europe. The cave lion, over 300 kilograms of muscle, longer than a modern tiger, fast enough to run down horses, and it knew where humans slept.
And the thing I keep coming back to, it's repeatable. Same command, different topic. Same visual identity, same channel voice. That's what the config files do. They make every run produce something that sounds and looks like the same channel, not a different AI video every time. So, the pipeline files that I just ran, among countless other Claude code folders and tools that I've created, are all accessible inside of Creator OS. The Primordial workflow is in there as a downloadable folder. Unzip it, fill in your API keys, and you're good to go. First link in the description to get access. And if you want Higgsfield to run this, link in the description to get this plugged in. And just like that, we've built a complete system. One command. Ancient story in, finished video out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.